Hello, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Alison Chiwara, and I'm the CEO and founder of Human Focus Limited, a company that is truly dedicated to creating happier and healthier communities, societies, and nations. Today, I want to thank you for coming back once more to drink, I hope, from the same well in which I'm also learning and growing with you. I want to start off with something that my mother used to always say to people when she met them and she was advocating for them. She would say, when you're given the seat at the table, please just don't sit there. Listen deeply, speak your truth, as my daughter would say, and leave the table better than you found it. There is something sacred about a seat. Not the chair itself, but what it presents, what it represents. Trust, access, responsibility. And I want to believe that many of us, or many of you, that seat did not come easily. It came through unseen preparation, the groundwork, the foundation that I was, sort of sharing along the way this week with my colleagues. Through the resilience that nobody knew of, through moments where you questioned almost everything and you still chose to continue. So when the seat is finally offered, it becomes much, much more than an invitation to come in and sit down. It becomes a sermon. And so our topic today for this episode is when you're given a seat at the table. But having said all of this, here's the truth. Not everyone who is given those seat or that seat understands what to do with it. Some will sit and observe and never contribute because they're comfortable. Some will sit and become so focused on staying that they literally forget why they were even invited in that seat in the first place. Or some sit and just forget who they are. And then there are those who truly understand that the seat is not a reward. It is loaded, it is pregnant with responsibility to actually influence what happens next. So, to truly understand this, I was speaking to a wise somebody the other day, and they shared a very powerful example of a woman called Esther. Esther was not born into power. She was just a woman, an orphan raised by her cousin. She lived in exile in a foreign land under the rule of another empire. But at the same time, the king also historically associated with big historical events. He was the most powerful. He was running the most powerful empire in the world at that time. This was not a small setting. This was a vast empire stretching across regions. So this king that I'm talking about becomes a husband at some point. So this was a vast empire stretching across various nations. And Esther was actually an outsider within it. I hope you understand. Now, the path to her seat was not the norm. The king had removed his former queen, and a process had begun, one that in modern language would feel uncomfortable even to describe. To those of us that understand the Christian Bible, I'm talking about Esther. Young women from across the empire were being brought into this palace. They were being prepared, observed, and eventually being presented to the king or before the king. Esther was one of them. But here's what is very, very important. Even in that process of all of the preparation, etc., she distinguished herself. One will ask how. It wasn't favor, it wasn't wisdom, it wasn't composure. She just listened. She leaned in. She adapted without losing herself. And eventually, she was chosen. Esther became queen. Now, I want us to pause here for a little bit, because this is where many people misunderstand the story. They see the crown, but they don't consider the weight of the crown. Esther, all of a sudden, had access. But she did not yet have influence. She had position, but she had never yet used her voice. Hey, I hope I'm speaking to somebody today. And then there came the moment that will define everything, or rather, I want to say a moment that will redefine Esther. There was a man who was an official in the king's court. He wanted to destroy a whole other people, an entire population. And the decision was being shaped in that moment in rooms Esther now had access. Please understand this. She was an outsider at the start. She became an insider because she got granted a seat at the table because of the title she now had. It was in these rooms that decisions were being made and shaped. And Esther now had access. She was faced with a reality. The reality that she had the seat, this seat. But also, here's something I really want you to listen to very carefully. Yes, she had the seat. Yes, she had access. But using the power of that seat would cost her life. Because at that time, approaching the king without being summoned was punishable. And this is where the story becomes really relevant to all of us. Because many people want influence until they realize the cost of using it. Esther didn't rush. She listened. She sought the counsel of her cousin. She fasted as one may. She reflected. And she prepared herself internally and emotionally for what was about to happen. Because when the moment came for her to use her voice, it was all about the preparation that she had made previously. Then she made a decision. A decision that some would say was reckless. But in her head, what she now had was clarity of purpose. She approached the king. Not impulsively, not emotionally, more strategically. She understood the timing. She understood the room. And she created space. She built a position, or she positioned the truth to the king. And when she finally spoke, she was sure of her composure. She was sure and clear of what she was going to say. And in doing so, she exposed a lot. She shifted a decision and saved an entire people. And that is what it means to use your seat. Esther did not just sit. She listened. She spoke her truth. And she let the table decide. But she left the table better than she found it. I hope I'm speaking to somebody today. Now bring this into your world, whether it's in your workplace, your community, or your society. A seat at the table means you're part of a decision that can and possibly will shape direction. It will shape outcomes, and it will shape impact. So it's in those moments that I want to say that listening becomes your first language in whatever you do, because not all listening is equal. There is listening to respond. Like I always tell my children, please don't listen to respond. I want you to listen to understand. Because when you listen to understand, there is something that also shifts. There is a listening to understand what is not being said. Are you with me? Who is being overlooked? What assumptions are going unchallenged, maybe in your workplace? What risks are being ignored because they feel and look uncomfortable? This is where depth really, really begins. Because when you listen, you hear beyond words. You see beyond the context of those words. Then comes the time to speak. And this is where many hesitate, because speaking truthfully is not always the safest option, is it? But truth, when carried with clarity and emotional intelligence, does not destroy rooms. It develops them. It sharpens thinking. It matures conversations, and it strengthens decisions. Because there is a difference between speaking so loudly, like most of us do, and speaking with weight. May I repeat? I say speaking with weight. Speaking with weight means there's a sort of sense of intentionality. I always say when you lead with intention, great things happen. You understand the impact of your words. Now I want to go a little deeper here. Because once you're in the room, you're not just speaking and listening. You're also signaling. Okay? People are always watching. They are watching what you tolerate. They are listening to what you challenge. They are watching what you will reward and what you ignore as well. And your behavior becomes part of the culture. So there is signaling. So just like Esther, her courage signaled something extraordinary, that truth could be spoken, that injustice could be challenged, that influence could be used for purpose, not for positioning. I hope I'm speaking to you as a leader in your workplace, in the sense that you use your seat. In leadership, your seat shouldn't be about visibility. It should be about accountability. In your community, it's about what you leave behind, what you build with others. Who are you lifting? I ask you. Who feels seen when you choose to speak? I say choose because that is an intention, effort. When you choose to speak, who is being seen? Who feels seen because you have spoken? What changes because you were present at a function, at an event, or during someone's trials and tribulation? What changes because you see a seat? It's never about you. I thought before, when somebody says, come and sit on the board, it's about you, it's about your elevation, but it's about others. It's about who you represent. It's about those that are not seen in that room, that get seen because you are there, because you are present, your energy is there. And this is where it all comes together. Listening, speaking truthfully, and leaving the table much, much better than you found it. And it becomes a cycle of life. And Esther lived it. So, to you that's listening, the one who has been given a seat, yes, you, or the one who is about to be given a seat, do not take the seat lightly. But do not fear it either. You were not placed there to observe, and you will not be placed there to observe. You were placed there to shape outcomes. And if you ever feel unsure, I urge you, remember Esther, her story. An outsider who comes in and becomes an influencer. She was prepared before she was positioned. She listened before she even spoke. She understood before she started acting. And when she spoke, she shifted mindsets. So when you're given a seat at the table, as my mother would say, do not just sit. Listen, speak truthfully, and leave the table better than you found it. Because this moment, this seat, this opportunity right here that we're talking about is not random. It is for the chosen, and is for a time such as this. From me to you is goodbye for today. From Human Focus Limited to your organizations, to your communities, your organizations, it's let's catch up next Wednesday once more. And please do send me a few of your topics what we may want to cover. And I always wish that when the time comes for you to be allocated that seat, that you don't forget why you were invited in the first place. Ciao for now, until next Wednesday.